Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video from Oakleigh Watches. Over the last few weeks we've spent some time with some high-end Rolex watches on Oysterflex straps, and the question has arisen a few times, what's so special about the Oysterflex and which is better, the Oysterflex or the bracelet alternative? So in this week's video, what we're going to be looking at is the Rolex Oysterflex versus the Rolex Oyster. Which is better? So let's just start with the question. What actually is an Oysterflex? If you were to go to Rolex and buy an Oysterflex strap, you'd buy the two parts separately, and if you were to buy them both together, the cost is somewhere around £650. Seems like a lot of money for a rubber strap, but that's because this isn't just a rubber strap. Inside the Oysterflex strap is a metal blade, and that metal blade is surrounded by a black elastomer, which is a type of rubber. So what you get with the Oysterflex is you get the strength and you also get the flexibility. When we compare this to the white gold bracelet, obviously we have all the strength built in there. It's very solid, very substantial, made of white gold, but maybe not quite as comfortable. Moving back to the Oysterflex. Inside, if you have a look inside here, what you can see are these little folds. There's two folds on either side of the case, two at the 6 o'clock side, two at the 12 o'clock side. And what they do is they provide a little bit of a gap between the strap and your wrist at the point where it meets the watch, so along the top side here. And that allows your wrist to breathe. It allows a little bit of airflow in there. So any concerns that you might have that an Oysterflex strap might be a bit sweaty if you get hot, these are designed to mitigate that, and they do a really good job. So if comfort is your priority, the Rolex Oysterflex is really quite hard to beat amongst all of the straps and bracelets out there on the market. It is lightweight while still being strong. It sits close to the wrist while still allowing it to breathe. It's a really cool thing. If we look at the white gold bracelet, obviously that is stronger than the Oysterflex. It's got long-term serviceability, so if it wears, you can have it repaired, you can have adjustments made to it. But equally, if you did need to replace it, or in fact, when you're paying for it up front, when you're buying your watch, it's made of white gold and there's a lot of it. So there is a pretty significant cost involved. When you're making your decision, I would imagine that the aesthetics and the feel are going to make quite a significant difference. Some people look at the Oysterflex and think, I don't like rubber straps. I wouldn't wear a quality luxury watch on a rubber strap. It would have to be the bracelet. Other people wouldn't want the bulk of the bracelet, so they would go for the comfort and the lightweight features of the Oysterflex. Let's just see what they look like on the wrist. Just putting the Daytona on here, if we have a look, it is a classic look. It's a very dressy, but also sporty kind of a look. And you can really see and you can really feel that you're wearing something luxurious and of high quality. Just pop that off. We'll change it for the Yachtmaster. So looking at the Yachtmaster on the wrist, it does sit closer to the wrist. It's more streamlined. It's more slimline. Of course, with the Oysterflex, you're still using an original Rolex clasp on here. So this is a 18-karat white gold Rolex Oyster clasp that's attached to the Oysterflex. So you've got the security of that. It does affect the weight as well, which we'll come back to in a second. It sits really close. It's really comfortable. It is really lightweight. So speaking of weight, how much difference does the Oysterflex actually make? Well, It depends which model you're looking at. If you're wearing an Oysterflex on a steel reference, then it's going to make less difference than on a precious metal reference because the precious metal bracelet is really heavy. Apart from your personal preference, one of the biggest issues between these two straps is versatility. It's clear that the Oysterflex is slightly more sporty, it's more casual, it's more relaxed. So it's probably more of a daily wearer, it's more a jeans and shirt kind of a thing. When we look at the white gold bracelet, also a jeans and shirt kind of a thing, but you could dress this watch up in a way that you can't with the Oysterflex. You could easily wear this with a dinner jacket or a business suit, as well as you could with a pair of shorts or a pair of trousers. Arguably then, the white gold bracelet is more versatile than the Oysterflex. One thing we haven't discussed, of course, is cost. Now, it's not an easy thing to get particularly precise about because the Yachtmaster in white gold isn't available on a white gold bracelet, and the Daytona in white gold isn't available on Oysterflex. So we can't really use the Yachtmaster as a comparison. We can use a Daytona though. With the current range of Rolex Daytona, the white gold version is available on a white gold bracelet. The yellow gold version is available on an Oysterflex. The white gold Daytona on its white gold bracelet is £47,000. That's the new price from an AD if you can get one. There's another story. The yellow gold Daytona that's on an Oysterflex is £34,000. So it's a £13,000 difference between the Oysterflex and the bracelet. As we said before, there's a lot of gold in that bracelet and you can really feel it. So there is definitely a cost implication. Now, when we look at the two watches pre-owned, precious metal Rolex, even for a really sought-after model like a Daytona, tends to be a lot better value than stainless steel ones. As we said, the watch in my right hand is £47,000 new. This one is 3 years old. It's perfect. It's still under Rolex warranty. It's £33,000. The Yachtmaster in my left hand is £31,750 new, and this one is £22,000. So there's a fairly equal kind of a saving between the two references. But what you are seeing there is there's a definite increase in price on pre-owned and new between the Oysterflex and the bracelet. You can expect to pay around £10,000 more for one on a bracelet than you can for one on an Oysterflex. So in the final analysis, which is better, the Oysterflex or the bracelet? Some of you know by now what my answer to that is going to be. Neither is better. One isn't better than the other, one isn't worse than the other. It comes down entirely to personal preference. Some people will love the Oysterflex for its lightweight, for the fact you can dress it down, and for the fact that it's probably going to be about £10,000 less than one on a bracelet. Other people are prepared to pay that extra premium for something that is more versatile, it's more solid, you can feel the heft of it, and it looks a more dressy watch. So at the end of the day, it's down to you. I hope you found that interesting. If you have, please like, please subscribe, please share, and we'll see you again soon.